Now, before we continue the festivity, I just have some housekeeping stuff I'd like to go through this announcement. I ask that everyone please keep their phone in silence during the ceremony, particularly through the speeches. We really appreciate that. During the award and pinning ceremony, and their awards, and allow everyone to hear their name and get seated back. We really appreciate that. There'll be plenty of opportunities to take pictures. So thank you guys for that. Also, I want to welcome all the folks on the live stream. We are live on YouTube, so if there are family member friends that are not able to make it, they can go to Jersey Car's YouTube page and kind of see us live. Hi, Mom! So, with no further ado, I'd like to welcome you guys again, and then I'm going to have Miss Iris come up and introduce the other folks. Thank you so much.
Welcome, everybody. We've got such a wonderful night to celebrate these graduates. Want to present all right. Okay. I would like to introduce our salutatorian for winter of 2024. Madeline Tyler.
Good evening, esteemed faculty, distinguished guests, proud family members, and especially my fellow graduates. It is with immense gratitude and pride that I stand before you today as a salutatorian of our class. As I reflect on this journey, I'm not only filled with a sense of accomplishment, but also with a deep appreciation for those who supported each of us along the way. I am up here today to say thank you to God. Thank you for shaping me, for disciplining me, for blessing me, for chastising me, for teaching me, and for allowing me to be a vessel to touch the patients that I care for, and for granting me the ability to make a difference. I cannot thank my incredible parents enough for the sacrifices they have unhastingly done for me. As both sets of parents have been my motivation, my foundation, and my pillars of strength. I am not the same woman I was 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I was at a standstill in life, a roadblock. My life was in the absence of any motion or progress at all. 2 years ago, I truly did not believe I was smart enough to attend school. I did not believe I was smart enough to become the nurse I've always dreamed of since I was a little girl. I was convinced that all I would ever be was someone who only dreamed of making a difference. Only dreamed of caring for someone who relied on me so much to advocate for them. Only dreamed of wearing blue with the initials R behind my name. This reality of being a nurse has not been made possible without my selfless parents and God. I would not be standing here today in front of you this evening as a nurse working in ICU, making that difference in my patients' lives. Thank you to my wonderful parents in Florida, Dad and Tina. Thank you for waking up at the crack of dawn just to wish me good luck every single day before an exam. And for being there with that legendary key lime pie talking me off the ledge after a hard exam. And thank you for being the ones that put the pedal to the metal supporting me throughout nursing school. And thank you to my amazing parents in Georgia, Mama and Brian. Thank you for always being just a phone call away when I would question my own abilities, when I would question if I was even smart enough to make it through school, and consistently praying for me, for God to give me the strength to keep on pushing when I felt like giving up. And thank you for always reminding me that I am my mother's daughter, and I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. As I stand up here today, thanking everyone who supported me through the most challenging part of my life, it is most important not to forget to thank the most important person of all, myself. I thank the Madeline who decided to change her life for the better 2 years ago. The Madeline who endured the obstacles of nursing school. I thank the Madeline who gave everything in order to be successful. and to make not only her parents proud, but herself proud. That she was able to conquer all odds and persevere through the immense challenges that lay before her. Today, my fellow graduates, let's not forget to take a second and thank ourselves, and be proud of ourselves, that we were the ones that stayed up those countless nights studying, that we were the ones writing those notes until our hands gave out, that we were the ones who gave it every ounce of our strength that we could muster, and for the blood, sweat, and tears that we invested into ourselves so we could prosper. Because we never gave up, because we kept on pushing, and because we still got up every single day even when things got hard, we can now celebrate the astonishing success that we've accomplished as nurses. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to recognize the valedictorian of Winter 2024, Alicia Thukalov.
Thanks, God. Good evening and welcome honored guests, faculty, fellow graduates, and cherished supporters. Today marks a profound milestone for all of us gathered here. As I stand before you, I am humbled and deeply moved to reflect on the journey that has led us to this momentous occasion. And I'm sure my fellow graduates can agree when I say we are overwhelmed with emotion that range from sheer joy to a large dose of disbelief that we've made it to this incredible achievement. First and foremost, I want to extend my deepest gratitude to all of you that have supported us on this incredible journey. To our families, friends, and mentors, thank you for your sacrifices and working in the background to keep us on track. You are all the true champions and have helped shape us into the nurses we are today. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Personally, I would like to thank God for gracing me with the mental fortitude and perseverance to endure the vigorous challenges that came along with earning this degree. Secondly, I would like to thank my parents. 2 years ago, I made a rather impulsive decision and quit my job of 20 years. I came home that morning and told my parents. I was expecting the worst, but instead my dad said, "Thank God you finally came to your senses," and asked me, what's the plan? What are we going to do? And I said, "Dad, I want to become a nurse like you." My dad is a retired critical care nurse, and I knew I had some big shoes to fill. I wanted to not only sustain the legacy of becoming a nurse like my dad, but I also wanted to make him proud. Mom, where do I even begin? You've been my rock, my cheerleader, and my constant supply of nutritional and emotional sustenance through this roller coaster of a nursing program. From late nights that turned into early morning study sessions to the comforting phone calls after those tough exams, your unwavering support has been my guiding light. Thank you for believing in me even when I doubted myself, and for always having a stash of Cadbury chocolates ready for when I questioned my life choices. Beyond that, y'all, my mom is the definition of resilience. I watched her single-handedly take on our family's various crises and made sure that I didn't veer off and lose sight of my educational endeavors. My mom inspired me beyond measure. Mom, if I could handle life's curveballs with half the grace that you've shown, I know that I'll be successful in this field. To my instructors, the not-so-silent presence in our nursing school success stories. You did not teach us about medical conditions, and you did not just teach us about medical conditions and treatment plans. You taught us to embody the soul of nursing, empathy, tenacity, and the true meaning of patient-centered care. From semester 1 with Ms. G, your comforting hugs and the "you got this" in our ears, especially during those Ann Smith, her horrendous care plans Margolis in my head over and over again, saying Big Kush and Little Annie. And who's my baby daddy on those ABG interpretations? During our psych rotation in semester 3, we would hear Covert on the second floor being paged, and Ms. Patel would just suddenly get up and walk away. She would disappear, and then sometime later, after clinical, we would hear her hollering down the faculty hall. And we're like, oh, there she is. And wishing we would have popcorn to go with the entertainment and the lighthearted after-lunch squabbling between Mr. Venus and Ms. Evans. I remember the theatrical performance with Miss C. She was sprawled out on top of our desk to demonstrate how to properly position yourself in the event of a prolapse of the umbilical cord when you turn on newborn semester 4. Or the light bulb moment in semester 5, where Ms. Petrolis would foster those, you would foster those aha moments and help us make parallels to create a proper nursing diagnosis for those patients. And when we started our final semester with the swagger of, we got this, I managed to pivot shortly into, I don't know. What do I know? That somehow between Ms. Evans brewing us fresh coffee and Ms. Rabel showering us with words of wisdom and Smith, it all came together. To our clinical instructors, the unsung heroes of our nursing school experience, your unwavering dedication to making sure that we were able to participate in nursing beyond the bedside. Your guidance and encouragement, with your guidance and encouragement, I was able to challenge my perspective of non-traditional nursing roles and tackle complex disease processes. Ms. Cook and Ms. Bowling helped us connect the dots between our nursing textbooks and the nursing practice, showing us that our patients are more than what we read on paper. Lastly, to my fellow graduates, congratulations on our remarkable achievements. We deserve this. Each of us have overcome challenges, embraced growth, and discovered our passion for nursing in ways that we could have never imagined when we began this journey. Now, as we embark on the next chapter of our lives as registered nurses, let's not forget the laughter, the tears, and the sheer determination that got us through the toughest exams, early morning clinical rotations, and those intense lecture topics, and next for some of us, NCLEX. Who else but nursing students would find humor in the chaos of our clinical test out disasters, or the unforgettable moments of trying to determine if our med math was even mathing? Or does this nursing diagnosis even apply to this care plan? Because, I'll just look at it anyway, it sounds good. In closing, Jersey College grads, family, friends, and instructors, let's celebrate not only the accomplishments, but the enduring friendships and long-lasting memories we've created along the way. Let's continue to support each other as we navigate the challenges and triumphs of our nursing careers. And let's never forget the lessons learned from those in our spheres of influence, so that we can make a difference in the county lives we will touch with our care and compassion. Congratulations, Jersey College grads, and thank you once again for making this journey truly complete.
Now I'd like to introduce the salutatorian of summer 2024, Danielle Coniston.
Really hard to follow that. And I'm a terrible speaker. You are not. I'll be looking this way though. Good evening everyone. I want to thank you all for being here today. It's an honor to stand before you as a graduate. I promise to try and keep it short, mostly because I don't want to be I must admit, standing here today feels absolutely surreal. There were many, many moments, and I doubt that I actually made it to this point. I chose Jersey College because it felt like the right fit from the first visit. The moment I walked into the building and realized I'd be heading to a hospital to get to my classes, I knew this was where I wanted to be. The smaller class sizes meant that the teachers really got to know us, and which is important for someone like me who's a bit quiet and shy. I didn't want to get lost in the crowd in Jersey College. But let me be clear, Jersey College was no walk in the park. The curriculum is rigorous, the expectations are high, the rules are strict. I want everyone to know that the graduates sitting here today are the ones who persevered through all the frustration and all the stress. These people pushed through the challenges, the late nights, the sheer intensity of nursing school. The rules were so strict that my favorite color, pink, wasn't allowed to be wearing. And everybody had those. Of course, I found my way around this with my pink bag, pink notebooks, and my pink fluffy pen. Before nursing school, I spent 10 years as a veterinary technician. My patients were much fluffier and undeniably cuter. But the principles of care and compassion were exactly the same. I loved being a vet tech, but witnessing my grandparents' health struggles shifted my focus. One experience with a home health nurse left a lasting impression on me. This nurse treated my granddad like he was a task to complete rather than a human being. In that moment, I knew I could do better. I realized that I wanted to bring the same dedication and compassion as I had as a vet tech into the human nursing world. Just over 2 years ago, I was able to visit my last living grandparent back in England, my grandma. Although she often struggles to remember family members, she had a moment of clarity when I told her I was going back to school for nursing. She was so proud and so excited to watch me pursue this challenging goal. I promised her that I would work hard, and while it might be a couple of years before I return, I had every intention of visiting her after I graduated. 3 weeks before graduation, she gave us a scare by going to the hospital. She is strong, more stubborn than most of my family, and last week I was able to visit her for her 89th birthday with my dad in England. I was able to tell her in person that I graduated. Even though she had difficulty remembering various details that day, she did remember that I was studying nursing. She's genuinely pleased for me. And she's been going around telling her healthcare nurses that I moved into England to become a personal nurse. So it turns out she's had a plan for me the whole time. Nursing school is no small feat. I had heard plenty of horror stories. While I could recount my own challenges, the truth is, each of us in this group faced our own unique struggles. Some of us struggled more, others balanced family commitments, and many dealt with health issues, either of our own or those of loved ones. Despite these hurdles, we persevered, driven by determination, grit, strength, and a whole lot of qualities that define a great nurse. There were many moments when it felt like it was too much. I remember one particular instance in semester 2. I don't know where she was there. When I wasn't sure that I could actually make it through, Miss Bowling happened to walk by and found me in the hallway, crying, like ugly crying. And she found me at the right moment. If you know me, you know that I don't like or anybody generally being in my space. But in that moment, she gave me the biggest comforting hug, and it was exactly what I needed. And she told me, please don't give up. You're going to be an amazing nurse. Miss Bowling and Miss Sept, from the start, you recognized my enthusiasm for clinicals and encouraged me to embrace it fully. Your support not only helped me grow and thrive, but also contributed to my receiving the day's report, which is given for exceptional clinical skill and compassionate patient care. Despite some people who questioned or dismissed my eagerness as naive, your consistent belief in my passion and abilities kept me motivated to work harder and excited to become a nurse. Miss Brazelton. You were the steady hand that guided me through the ups and downs of nursing school, especially when senioritis started to creep in at the beginning, really. But you were always there to listen, whether I needed to chat or more often than not cry. You seemed to have endless supplies of tissues in your office. Your calm presence helped me stay grounded and got me to the finish line. I am incredibly lucky to be surrounded by such a supportive circle of friends and family. Jen, Heidi, Kat, Mark, and Becca, you've all played a huge role in this journey. Your encouragement, love, and unwavering support help me navigate the challenges and celebrate the successes. I'm deeply grateful for each one of you and the kindness you've shown me. Allie, I'm so grateful we met on the first day of nursing school. Sharing this experience with you has been a true highlight of my journey. I'm lucky to have you as a friend. We have always lived by the rule that good women don't compete with one another, but with each other. Brandon and Tyler. You came into my life right as I started Jersey College. You You've never known me as anything other than the person who's constantly studying and crying over exams, yet you stuck by me this whole time. You supported me, fed me, and even forced me to be occasionally social. I love you both so much, and I'm beyond grateful to be aunt to Princess Bunny. That's a character. Jay and Tina, you have been in my life since I was young, occasionally dramatic, 24-year-old vet tech. You picked me up during some of the toughest times and have celebrated with me during the best moments. Your support during my transition into nursing has meant the world to me. I cherished every moment spent with you, Nico, and Olympia. I love you all so much, and I promise to always keep the pantry stocked with Cadbury chocolate. To my family, Dad and Mom, to make sure I can see them. Your commitment to standing up for what's right and your advocacy for others have deeply inspired me. Watching you both about your values has reinforced my own dedication to being an advocate and ally in my nursing career. Your example has shown me the importance of compassion and justice in all that we do. I'm truly grateful for the impact you've had on my life. I hope to make you proud by continuing to uphold these values and always striving to be an advocate for our community. Jim, you have been the best stepdad and most caring dog grandpa anyone could ever ask for. Whether it's feeding me, helping me with things around the house, or taking care of the honey monster so I could focus on my studies, your constant encouragement and support was deeply appreciated. You always knew I was smart. And now to my beautiful mom, I wouldn't let her read this, but there simply aren't enough words, nor enough time to fully express how much you mean to me. You are my best friend, my confidant, and the person I look up to most in this world. Your kindness, patience, unshakable support have been the foundation of my strength, not just throughout this journey, but throughout my entire life. You possess a remarkable ability to offer comfort and encouragement, always knowing when I need a cup of tea or a reassuring word. I strive every day to be more like you, strong in ways that don't require raising your voice, forgiving, yet never forgetting the lessons learned, and humble, letting your actions speak louder than your words. You are the quiet force behind every one of my achievements, and the one who has taught me what it truly means to be a compassionate, resilient, and gracious. Mom, you are my greatest inspiration. I am endlessly grateful for the love and wisdom you've shared with me. I hope to make you as proud of me as I am of you every single day. Congratulations to my fellow brotherhood. We now navigated countless challenges, celebrated many victories, and supported each other during every step of the way. Each of us has demonstrated incredible determination and resilience. I'm proud to stand here today with such an exceptional group of individuals. As we move forward into our careers as nurses, I hope to bring the same joy and excitement into my work that I felt throughout this journey. I am committed to making a positive difference in the lives of our patients and colleagues. I always try to live by one simple rule: never be the reason someone's day gets worse. By embracing empathy, compassion, and kindness, we can make every day a little bit brighter for those we care for. Thank you to everyone here who has supported us, believed in us, and cheered us on. Here's to the future and making our mark on the world. Congratulations.
I'd like to present the valedictorian for the summer of 2024, Shane Walter.
Well, as you can see, I'm the young guy in the group. I just turned 50 last week, so. Happy birthday! I feel every bit of it, and I'm very active now, so some of you might be able to relate. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, honored guests, faculty, family, my fellow graduates, today marks a monumental moment in our lives. As we come together to celebrate and reflect upon our achievements, it is with tremendous pride and a deep sense of gratitude that I stand before you as a valedictorian of our class. I'm truly honored and humbled. Our journey to this moment has been filled with challenges, the joy of triumph, moments of uncertainty, and a roller coaster ride of emotions. There have been many tears shed over the past 2 years, but we made it through. My personal voyage started when I was just 17 years old, and I joined the Navy. I joined as a hospital corpsman, not knowing what that entailed and learning as I went. At a very young age, I learned patient care. I worked alongside many brilliant nurses who helped me hone my skills as a corpsman. Many encouraged me along the way to stay in the Navy and take on harder assignments. And we all know the reward for hard work is more hard work. At a young age, I was selected to become a submarine independent duty corpsman on submarines. Ironically, I was the youngest student in my class, and I was told by my instructors I probably wouldn't even pass, and if I did, I probably wouldn't complete a full tour on board a submarine. Well, challenge accepted. And boy, were they wrong. Here's a fun little fact. Only myself and one other classmate of my class successfully completed a full tour on a submarine without being fired. The skills I learned from fellow nurses and doctors allowed me to safely and confidently provide care for 160 sailors while deployed as the only medical provider on board. I was fortunate enough to serve on board 4 submarines before my retirement in 2014, after 22 years in naval service. At age 50, I'm a living testament that you can do anything you put your mind to if you want it bad enough. When we embarked on this academic voyage, we were individuals from diverse backgrounds working towards the same goal. Today, we stand united as a team, a true testament to our perseverance and our refusal to give up. When the journey got difficult and the seas got rough, we know that calm seas never made good sailors, and easy times never made great nurses. Our time at this college has been more than just an academic adventure. It has been an ongoing test to ensure that we were ready for the challenges that lay before us. We have been mentored by amazing instructors, encouraged by our supportive families, and most of all, we have pushed, pulled, and carried each other across the finish line. The journey has not been easy, but we also know that all roads are not smoothly paved. Some of our roads along the way had potholes and detours and barriers, but we navigated safely and we arrived at our destination. The rigors of life would try to derail our mission, but we persevered and we overcame. We have been challenged to think critically, act compassionately, and lead ethically. Over the course of our journey, we have honed our skills, readied ourselves for our life's challenges, and performed a lot of self-reflection. We have been tried, we have been shrewd, and we have been tested. We have spent more time with each other as classmates than we spent with our own families. There were many late nights and many early mornings, times we doubted our knowledge and abilities, and moments when our goals seemed too distant and unachievable. We found out that iron sharpens iron, and with each challenge we grew sharper and stronger. We learned the value of hard work, the importance to never give up, and the satisfaction of meeting the challenge head on and succeeding. These experiences have made us stronger and more self-confident. As we ready ourselves for our future careers in nursing, we would be remiss if we did not acknowledge those that made this journey possible. To our esteemed instructors, all of you. So we thank you for your sage advice and wisdom that you have prepared us for the next chapter of our lives. Your dedication to our education, working long hours, has inspired us to do great things, and we will not let you down. We strive to be great ambassadors of this college and represent all of you with pride. Each of you holds a special place in our hearts, and we thank you for all you have done. To our families, your sacrifice and support for us has been the backbone of our success. Without you, none of this would have been possible. Your encouragement when we doubted ourselves was the wind that we needed in our sails to keep us moving and stay the course. You believed in us when we lost belief in ourselves, and you kept the dream alive, and we thank you. And lastly, to my fellow graduates, your friendship and spirit has made this journey an amazing and unforgettable experience. I will always view you as extended family. Each of you holds a special place in my heart, and I thank each of you for the great memories and laughter, especially, hold please. As we depart this port and we sail on to our next chapter, let us utilize the lessons we have learned and the mistakes that we have made along the way to mold us into the nurses that we will become. Let us be confident in our actions, ethical in our care, and compassionate in our approach. The world needs now more than ever skilled and compassionate nurses, so let us be both. Let us face our challenges head on and use them as an opportunity to grow. Let us be the change that we want to see in the world and seize the day. In closing, I'm reminded of the mission and all the ports of call along the way. The journey has been long, but I am proud to say to all of you, congrats on a job well done and mission complete. I am truly honored to have been part of this journey as we learned together and we grew together as a team. I will truly miss our time together, but I'm excited to see the growth in each of you, and I look forward to celebrating your achievements along the way as well. Today we will close this chapter and we will open a new one. Let us go out and change the world. May the wind always be at your back, your sails full, and your journey a success. Go make a difference. Congratulations, class of 2024. We are ready.
Wow, I'm so proud of you guys. Those was exceptional words of wisdom from you. Let's give them another round of applause. Fantastic job. There are a few things that stood out to me. One, there's a lot of crying in nursing school. What's going on? The second thing, it was the impact the educators make on these graduates. So I'm going to turn to them for a second, because if you ever have a moment and wondering, am I making an impact? Look at that. That stood out to me. And then, of course, the family members. You guys were part of that journey. That also stood out to me. So great job, guys. So proud of you guys. Now, it's my great pleasure to introduce tonight's guest of honor and keynote speaker, Ms. Brenda Simpson. Ms. Brenda earned her BSN in nursing from White Cummings College in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. She then continued her education and earned her master's at the University of South Florida. Ms. Simpson is currently the Director of Clinical Relations for Jersey College. In this role, she is responsible for developing clinical relations sites and creating hospital-based programs across the country. In 2016, Jersey College opened its first hospital-based program, our campus in Largo. Ms. Simpson played a pivotal role in the opening of that campus. And maybe tonight she will share that story. Under her stewardship, Jersey College has grown from having that one hospital-based program to opening 13 additional hospital-based programs in 6 states across the country. That's turning out great nurses in our nation. And she played a pivotal role there as well. Now, besides her already stellar career at Jersey College, Ms. Simpson has over 44 years of experience working as a nurse in various capacities. Throughout her successful career, serving a range from a new nurse in the 1980s to holding numerous leadership positions, including Chief Nursing Officer at Largo Medical Center in Iraq, where our campus is located. She's gone on to do so many amazing things. And it's my true honor and pleasure, and if you would join me in giving a round of applause to bring up our guest speaker, and we're in for a treat. Thank you, guys.
He makes me sound a lot better than I really am, just saying. It looks good on paper most of the time, but thank you so much. Thank you, Tessa and Patty, for asking me to be the guest speaker tonight. It's near and dear to my heart. This is my baby. I always say I helped create this, and I did, which is awesome. But right here in this very room is where we started. I was on the Performing Arts Board as a board member in this very room at Largo Medical Center as a chief nursing officer. And I had a woman named Margaret Coop on the board with me. And she said to me, "You need to meet my sister." And I said, okay. I was always willing to meet anyone. I didn't really know where it was going to go, and I didn't really know what it was about. But I thought to myself, okay, let's do this. So we set up a lunch. We went to E&E. We had lunch. And her sister says to me to this day, as a matter of fact, as early as today, said, "You never let me finish my lunch." So her name is Ann McSoley. She was one of our Jersey College Vice President of Operations when I first met her. And she said to me, "What do you think about nurses being trained in the hospital?" And I said, "Well, my gosh, that's the way we used to do it." And as Mr. Miller said, I've been a nurse for 44 years. I know I look 25, but I've been a nurse for 44 years. So, my nursing journey has been one of a vast array, which is always the fun part of nursing. You can do anything you want, whenever you want. And I really feel like what we did with hospital-based nursing is the way we used to train nurses back when I grew up. So we started on that journey in 2015, and they asked me to talk a little bit about how we got here. And so Ann asked me if we would be interested in a hospital-based program, and I said, by all means, let's do it. That was 2015. Miss G happened to be one of my directors at the time, and so she helped along the journey, as did my other 10 directors in the hospital, the staff nurses. My CEO supported the idea, and we said, let's run with it. So Jersey College built out the space that we have in Indian Rocks right now, and we started our first hospital-based program, and we opened it up in 2016. So here we are, 8 years later, and we now have 13 hospital-based campuses across the country. What I found, and the reason that I really valued it so much, is that I felt like they weren't developing nursing students the way I was brought up in nursing school. I was brought up a little bit different. I wore caps, and I wore white uniforms, and, pinafores, and our skirts had to be below our knees, and there were no pants. So, we grew up very, very strict. You could only wear a ball earring, you could only wear a wedding band, you couldn't have nail polish. And you could not put your hair up, and I had really long hair then, without bobby pins. You had to use bobby pins instead of a barrette. So I grew up a little bit more strict in nursing school, and I felt like some of the nursing students that I was getting out of school from other schools were not the caliber of what I wanted taking care of my patients. And I say my patients. And I felt like that was my job. I'm responsible for 2 hospitals, I'm responsible for every patient in that hospital, and I'm responsible for every nurse. So I wanted to make sure I was hiring nurses who were qualified, one, and trained well. And I saw Jersey College students in my hospital, and I thought, something's different about them. They seem more prepared. They seem more intuitive. They seem more, they want to be more involved with the patients. And one of my pet peeves was, don't let me see you out in the hallway. If you're not sitting at a patient's bedside, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. So I was pretty strict, and I rounded a lot. I was very visible. And Donald will tell you, I was not in my office. That was not where I felt like I needed to be. There's always paperwork, but there's always patients too. So when I partnered with Jersey College, I knew that I was going to get a better caliber of students at Jersey College. What it allowed the students to do was to practice in one facility every clinical rotation that they needed. Now, we didn't have obstetrics at Largo Medical Center, but we partnered with one of our sister facilities in St. Pete. So they had a well-rounded clinical experience in one facility. It also allowed them to build relationships in the hospital. And I used to tell the students, and Ms. Bowles will tell you, I used to walk in the classrooms all the time and say, how's it going? Tell me what's happening, what's going on. I used to tell the students, you're on a 2-year interview process, but we are also on a 2-year interview process from the hospital. And I used to tell the staff that as well. If you want a student, embrace them. Bring them into your fold, bring them into your team, pull them into your unit. That's how we're going to fill the nursing shortage. Before I left the hospital, I had 0 ER open positions, which is unheard of. And Stephanie will tell you, she came to me probably 4 months before she was ready to graduate and said, I want to work in the emergency department. And that's where she went. And you know what? At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. I want to know where you want to work, because guess what? If you're happy where you work and you're happy with the people you work with, you're going to do a really good job. And nursing school is hard, right? I spoke to some of you first semester, and I said nursing school is hard. However, it's the best profession ever. It really, really is. You have the ability to change people's lives. You have the ability to make a difference. And everything that the 4 of you spoke about today is very, very true. Don't ever give that up. Don't ever forget why you went into nursing school. because that patient's the most important person when you walk through the door of wherever you work. It doesn't matter. You may be the only person they talk to all day long. You may be the only person as a nurse that makes a difference in that patient's life. And I used to say to all the nurses, spend 60 seconds and ask that patient what's the most important thing to you. It could be their dog needs to be fed. It could be their child needs to get to school on time. It could be their wife needs help at home and they were the caregiver. It could be anything. But the minute you find out what's the one most important thing to that patient, you're never going to make a bad decision. Trust me on this. Been doing it a long time, and it makes a big difference. It makes them realize that you care, and you have to care. I used to say all the time, I can teach you skills, but I can't teach you to be nice. And you have to be nice, because everyone has a story. It may not be the story you want to hear, but everyone has a story of how they got to where they are. We all know that. Everyone sitting in this room, friends, family, people that have supported the students and the graduates through their journey, everyone has a story. So spread stories. Stories make you remember a lot of things. And I used to get in trouble, not really in trouble, but Miss Van Stetten, who was the dean at the time, she's still with the college, I used to walk in and I used to tell stories about when I was a nurse. And I used to give patients things that maybe they shouldn't have had. Like my dying patient who wanted a last cigarette. And I'd say, okay, we're gonna go in the bathroom, we're gonna light that cigarette, and you're gonna take a puff. But if you fall off and hit your head, I'm gonna be in trouble. But you know what? I took her in, my girlfriend and I, we were both nurses, took her in, let her take a puff on her cigarette. I thought Betty Van Stetten was gonna fall off her chair. She's like, don't tell them stories like that. I said, it's real. Make it real. If they want a grilled cheese sandwich and they're on a low sodium diet, give them a grilled cheese sandwich, for goodness sakes. Go down and do the extra mile for the patient. That's all they have. That's all you have. So remember that. Don't say Brenda said. They used to say that, by the way, when I was a chief nursing. Brenda said. They go down the diet. Brenda said. I'm like, okay, go. It's fine. But as Tessa alluded to, we have grown Jersey College. So it's been almost 6 years now. I left the hospital and I thought I was going to try and retire. That lasted a month and a half, and I cleaned every closet and I drove my husband absolutely crazy. And so Jersey College said, come work for us. And Ian McSorley, of course, said, come work for us. And I said, well, what am I going to do? I mean, what am I going to do? I'm not going to teach. I taught part-time as a continuing education credit. I said, I'm not going to teach. She goes, no, just come work for us. So they started out, we actually have 5 freestanding campuses, 2 in New Jersey, 3 in Florida. And some of them were having struggles getting clinical rotations for their hospitals. So I did start out doing that. But then, a couple months into that, it's like, let's grow this program. And so when I first started on the journey, I was like, gosh, I don't even know what I'm going to do here. But as you look back on your life, you build relationships. And I believe nursing is all about relationships. And I truly think that there have been so many people in my life that I built relationships with. And I guess I didn't realize how many I built relationships with along the way. And so, I go out and I say, hey, by the way, what do you think about this? Well, here we are, and we partner with Community Health Systems, and we opened up 9 colleges for them. And then we partnered with Stewart Health Systems, and we opened up a few more for them. And then we just opened up our last one in York, Pennsylvania, at a not-for-profit group of hospitals named WellSpan. And we just opened up them in August. So we are at number 13, and I think we're going to take a little bit of a break for a short period of time. When I first started, they told me to take a vacation because I was moving and grooving, and I'm like, let's do this. We're going, come on. But you can only build so fast. You want quality versus quantity most of the time. You want to be able to turn out really great nursing students because they're going to be really great nurses. And I know that, and I believe that. And I know that Jersey College does prepare the students for their journey in nursing. And, I always used to joke that everybody goes into nursing school thinking they want to be OB nurses. How many of y'all want to be OB nurses? Anybody? I never want to be delivering babies. No, sorry. I know, love you, but no, that was not my passion. I never thought I'd do cardiac either, and I ended up doing a big stint in my career in cardiac, which was fabulous. So whatever your passion and whatever your drive, stick with it. It will be the best journey you've ever gone on. Trust me, it's the best profession ever. And never let your patients down, no matter what you do. Make a decision based on patient care. You'll never make a bad decision. That was my advice from a medical director many, many years ago. Keep that in your head. It's not all about, tasking is one thing. Take the time to take care of your patients. That's the most important thing. And if I can leave you with anything, it's the words of Maya Angelou. People will forget what you said. People will forget what you did. But people will never forget how you made them feel. Okay? Congratulations. Very proud of you all. I know you can make really super awesome nurses, and I look forward, hopefully I'm not your patient, but, I know I'll have good care if not. And if you ever need anything, I'm local, I live right across the street, and so just reach out, and I'm really, really proud of you. I'd like to say thank you to all the family, friends, everyone who supported us students, because truly, they said it, but I'll say it again, they couldn't do it without you. They really couldn't. And I know they appreciate it more than anything. And thank you to Tessa and Kathy for asking me to speak. It's one of my passions. I love doing what I do. So thank you.
All right, guys, so we've reached the part of our program where we're going to present the class of 2024. And so I just want to give you a little bit of an understanding of what is going to happen in the next little bit. So as we present the class, when the graduate is called, they will follow a procession that is the visual representation of the journey that each graduate has taken. They will receive a yellow rose that represents their calling to care for others. They will receive their diploma, which signifies the completion of the nursing educational requirements. And lastly, they will get their nursing pin, which marks their transition and readiness for the nursing role, and begin with the winter class 2024. Sarabina Amaro. Lisa Khan. Margaret Mead. Alicia Sukol. Madeline Tyler. Krista York.
Francesca Glover. Preston Marshall. Megan Stickney.
Oh, her shoes, yes. Yes, her shoes.
Danielle Tonneson. Walter. And last but not least, Paula Williams. I'd like to recognize a few students from the winter class of 2024 with residential, Alicia Sukal. Academic, Madeline Tyler.
Go, Maddie.
And academic, Krista York. And I'd like to recognize a few from the summer of 2024. Danielle Tonneson, academic. Shane Walter, academic. and Paula Williams Academic.
So we reached the part of our program where we will do the Florence Nightingale Pledge. I'd like to present Christine Petrilla, and she will recite the pledge with each graduate. Any nurses in the room, please stand and also recite the pledge with us.
Stand up.
Wait, guys, have the candles on? We are so proud of you guys. Yes, please, if you are a nurse, stand and take the pledge. We get to do this every so often, right? All right, you guys know how I love flow. You ready to follow along? Okay, I'm going to say it, you repeat it. Get ready to be a nurse, all right? I solemnly pledge myself before God.
I solemnly pledge myself before God
And in the presence of this assembly.
and in the presence of this assembly
To pass my life in purity.
to pass my life in purity
And to practice my profession faithfully.
and to practice my profession faithfully.
I will abstain from whatever is deleterious and mischievous.
I will abstain from whatever is deleterious and mischievous,
And I will not take or knowingly administer any harmful drug.
and I will not take or knowingly administer any harmful drug.
I will do all in my power to maintain and elevate the standard of my profession.
I will do all in my power to maintain and elevate the standard of my profession,
And I will hold in confidence all personal matters
and I will hold in confidence all personal matters
committed to my keeping in my family affairs,
committed to my keeping in all family affairs,
coming to my knowledge in the practice of my calling.
coming to my knowledge in the practice of my calling.
With loyalty, I will endeavor to aid the physician
With loyalty, I will endeavor to aid the physician
in his or her work,
in his or her work,
and devote myself to the welfare of those committed to my care.
and devote myself to the welfare of those committed to my care.
You guys are going to be awesome.
Congratulations. You may be seated.
Good job.
We have come to the close of today's sermon. Before we leave, I just want to make some additional thank you and appreciation. Thanks to the ceremony planning committee, our dean, Ms. Rabel, our instructor, Ms. C, Ms. Sonia, administrative assistant. Thank you guys for putting together this wonderful afternoon. An additional special thank to Ms. C for all the decoration you see here. She individually blew up those balloons, so all the decoration. She worked very hard and tirelessly in putting this event on. She did a fabulous job. So thank you so much for doing that. That was an amazing job. I want to again thank our Nursing Students Association volunteers today. See them behind there. Thank you guys for here. Our camera person, our picture person, thank you guys. Now, let's get ready to move our tassels, graduates. Now, the tassel has a long tradition. The tassel when you move the tassel, you're symbolizing your graduate to the next level of your career. So we're going to move it from the right to the left. Now, before we do that though, I have one last thing. For many years, you guys have heard about our Jersey College Pride. And as you go out there to conquer the world and change the world, I want to remind you of it one last time. Professionalism, respect, integrity, diversity, and excellence. Remember those values and carry them along with your career. All right, are we ready now? All right, let's stand. On the count of 3, we're going to move it from the right to the left. All right? And then you guys can come along with me. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Yeah! You guys are officially graduates. God, thank you, Lord. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here tonight. By the way, graduates, don't leave. We're going to take a class picture on the stage. We're going to do 2 things. One, we're going to have graduates just by yourself, faculty and staff, and I encourage all the former faculty as well. We're going to take another picture with the faculty and the graduates. And then family and friends, we have a beautiful cake in the back and refreshments. Please enjoy that. We have water in the back. Please enjoy it before you guys go. So graduates, if you make your way up to the stage, we'll do that so you can get on with your family shortly.
Yeah. Hold on, she wants me to stop it right at this.
Carly, is that you?
Congratulations to your sister. How wonderful.
Sorry.
Oh, I can imagine. She and Maddie are like 2 peas in a pod.
Everybody's short. You graduate
Krista, Megan, and